Morning, everybody. It is the Queen's birthday. It is the 12th of June, 2023, and here in Australia, that's a holiday. So, unfortunately, some of us still have to work. So, yeah, you can see the dark circles under my eyes because I'm not getting enough sleep. So, what's been going on is, as I said before, June is a very hard month for me. I've got a lot of work, so I was given some opportunities for overtime last week. So I worked really, really hard, um, and this week is going to be no real difference. Um, what to tell you today? I just wanted to talk about just a couple things. I just want to check in and some things. So right now on the other screen, because I've got two monitors, I've got the printout of the Bureau of Land Management sales for second quarter two 2023. And this is all the ones that were sold, the Kansas and New Mexico ones that I mentioned on the previous one. So, but I've actually got it in front of me today, and I've sent the email, not the email, the URL for looking this up is available on the previous video. Okay, so if you want to look stuff up, oh, funny here. You can look this up and you can download it. It's a PDF file. So I'm going to look at the thing that had zero bids. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So eight out of the total did not have any bids. So as I said before, that's an interesting question. Maybe it's inaccessible. Maybe there's been prospecting there already and it's come back negative saying we've not been able to find any oil or gas on this location. Um, so considering also, second thing is considering the fact that some of these, not a lot, some of them were picked up, and it appears like they were just picked up as kind of kind of a yeah, okay, since we're here, we'll grab a couple extra. So there's a 40 acre plot that was picked up for the total amount due to the agency was $705 American. There was a, let me see, 360 acre plot. That's a lot for only, no, I'm wrong, 36 acres for $666. The devil's plot. 731 was 41.43 acres was $731. 40 acres, $705. And everything else gets a lot, very expensive. Some of them are cheap in the sense that $1,225. Okay, we could afford that, right? What I'm interested in is the new thing that I'm going to be working on. I've got so much stuff to do. I have multiple streams. Imagine that I've got all these things that have to be done all at once. I have to update the website. I have to I have to finish writing the white paper, which I'm almost done on, but the white paper, it keeps evolving. So the white paper I have to add the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 sections of. I need to keep trying badly, because I'm not a social media guy, to um, get, how do I say this? Um, to create social media accounts on all of the major social media platforms. Right now, I've got something on Twitter, but it's horrible. Ugh, it's awful. I've got my website. I think I've got, I don't even know if I've got anything else. I mean, YouTube, I've obviously got this, but that's about it. I've got nothing. I need, I need to create a introductory video. Hello, welcome to the People's Petrol token and how we're going to work. And have that on YouTube, I suppose, something professional looking. I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff I have to do, and it all gets done bit by bit by bit. So now that the 25th, the results of the May 25th sale are out, this is interesting. I will keep searching on other things and I will keep learning. One of the things that I'm going to be learning about over the next few days as I do some research is how do I get registered? What do I need? Do I need to be an incorporated company in the United States to be able to bid on these things, or can individuals bid on these plots of land? What do you have to be to be allowed to bid? I don't know. I'm going to find out. So that's some of the stuff that I have to work on. What else? I've got a lot of stuff. Please excuse me. I have a life. I have a wife. I have two beautiful daughters. Um, Life is busy, and as I said, June is always very hard. I've got a ton of things I have to get done, and this is just a very busy time, overtime, etc. So I'm trying. I am trying. Um, I've been, watching videos, learning little bits here and there. That's what I do. I try to learn. Now, one of the things I fully admit that I am an amateur. Okay, no bullshit, no lies. I admit I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur at this. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do this when it gets down to the nitty gritty as an amateur. I'm going to hire professionals to help me. Okay? If I cannot bid individually on these, and remember, some of these ones over here, so number of bidders, one. Number of bidders, one. Number of bidders, one. So if you look at this, some of these, there were bids that were made by as much as like 8 different companies. Wow. So the one that came in for $5 million had 8 different bidders. So obviously somebody knew that that was a valuable piece of land, and it probably, very probably, had oil underneath. So, however, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 of the plots only had one bidder. In other words, nobody else bothered. So 16 of those plots were ones in which only one company bid, and they got it at, the $10, the minimum $10 an acre bid. Because what's the point of offering $12 or $15 an acre if you're the only bidder? So these guys put it in and they got it. Now, interestingly, I find that very interesting. Okay, so if this is possible, then why don't we start picking up land between now and say 2024 and 2025? Because it's not too expensive to own and hold, because the amount that you have to pay for in rent. So this is just the lease. Okay, this is purchasing the lease, but you still have to pay a yearly lease fee, which is quite inexpensive. So initially, for I think years 1 and 2, it's only about $2 per acre. Okay, so you got 40 acres, $2 an acre. It's an extra 80 bucks. We can afford that. So if we buy the plots now, if possible, over the next, 6 months, a year, if I start using some of my own money to purchase some of these plots, that means that when the liquidity pool opens in May of 2021, I'm so tired, 2024, we will be able to hit the ground running, because at that point, it's just a question of, now what do I do? Who do I hire to go do prospecting for us? We've already got the land, we've got the parcel. Now we just need to hire the right professionals to do all the paperwork. You have to write an EPA proposal, right? Obviously, you have to write an Environmental Protection Agency proposal. If you're going to be drilling for oil, it's perfectly reasonable that you should promise the Environmental Protection Agency that you are not going to screw it up and create a massive oil spill. So you have to tell them, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. I hear the cat. Sorry, baby, am I waking you up? No, honey, you can't go out yet. It's 3:03 in the morning. No, honey, you can't. No. Sorry, excuse me. Domestic issues. Um, and we have possums. We have big possums. Australian possums are cute. American possums, not so much. But Australian possums are cute, but this one might tangle with them, and I don't want her to get hurt, or I don't want the possum to get hurt either. No, come here. You can come up here. You can come up here, but that's it. Come here. What do you want? Food or something? Oh, I'll figure you out in a minute. What was I gonna say? So yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be done, and that has to be done by professionals. And there are people out there who you can hire, right? But again, this is a professional world, and these people are not going to be cheap. So, excuse me. I'm sorry. I have to deal with this cat. I'm going to be right back. $5 says that she meows within the next 10 minutes. She wants to come back in, I hope, because it's cold out there. It's June down here, and in Australia, that's winter. So, we'll see. But that's what I'm talking about. What else to talk to about things? So some of these were quite cheap, less than $800. Some of them 1,000, whatever, 2,000, 5,000. I'm thinking that we can do this. Okay, we can we can have a set of parcels by the time um, May or June of 2024 comes around. And so obviously getting prospectors, drilling a test drill, we'll just put it that way, onto our land, which we already own, is going to require um, uh, renting the equipment and hiring a crew. That's going to require some money, and it isn't going to be cheap. I'm going to do it as inexpensively as I can, but it is still going to cost a lot of money. But it's going to be better if we have, say, 10 different plots for parcels of land for them to go try. Drill over here, nothing. Drill over here, nothing. Drill over here, nothing. Drill over here, ooh, oil gas. Aha. And then we'll figure out what the next steps are. Okay. We may end up partnering with some of these companies that I'm looking at. There's a whole bunch of list of companies on this PDF file. And we may end up partnering with one of them and saying, hey, we went to this plot of land. We, we got this done. We got a test drill done and we've come back successful. What kind of cut? How can we work this out? 50-50, 70-30, whatever. How can we cut this so that we can start making some money? Remember, the ultimate goal of all this is to get enough money in the bank to be able to own everything, right? From the plot of land and the oil well, okay, all the way through to the gas station. If we own the entire supply chain, we can keep prices very, very low. And that means we can pass that savings along to the American consumer. We can still make a healthy profit, 10%, but why do I sound like Bernie Sanders? We can still make a healthy profit. And we get the 10%, of which we spend some of that our way, and the vast 7%, 70% of the 10%? Does that make any sense? You know what I mean. So if you got the 10%, 1% of that goes back into bonuses for the employees. 1% goes into going into purchasing more people's petrol token to help people to pay them back, right? And then 1% is for local charities. Local charities that the company decides on. The family of the company makes a decision. We want to support this charity, that charity, this charity, that charity. And then the 7% that's left, that goes into the bank. Okay? That's my vision of what we're going to try and do. That's why we're called an ethical oil company. We're a company that honestly tries to do the right thing. It was a really good one. Something I learned from the military, it was the concept of do the next right thing. Do the right thing that's right in front of you, and then move on to the next right thing, and the next right thing, and the next right thing, and live your life by doing the right thing. Just keep trying, right? Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give in to temptation. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're going to do. As I said before, I want everyone to go look at this. So uh, sure, why not? I'll add it again. I'll add the URL for this land sales PDF or the web page. You have to find it yourself because I don't have a way to. But once you're on the web page, you'll see it. It's right there. It says results, and you hit it. You download the PDF. Um, what else? Um, like I said, I'm going to learn how to be the person who can do the bidding. We might as well pick up at least between 4 and 10 parcels before 2024 comes around. I think I can afford that out of my own money. I'm poor, but I got a couple thousand here and there. Um, is this going to be a massive waste of my money if it turns out that none of this moves forward? If I can't get enough people on board to purchase the People's Petrol token? Yeah. Am I going to cry over losing $10 or $20,000 of my own money? No, because this is interesting to me. This is what do they say? If you go to work every day and you love what you're doing, then it's not really going to work. Well, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying all the stuff I have to learn, all the new things that I have to do. I'm enjoying this very much. So I'm cool with the fact that, yeah, okay, now what do I have to learn? Okay, well, this week I have to learn about how to get registered with the federal government to be able to bid. How do I do that? What do I have to do? The other things will be things like, who do I have to talk to about getting incorporated as a company in the United States? You know, there's lots of things. I have all these ideas. Um, let me um, let me do this, okay? Let me go back to the beginning and talk about this. And obviously, this is going to take more than 5 minutes. But here's the deal. The oil companies in the United States are ripping us off. Okay, we know that. If it costs them $2.40 to $2.50 to make a gallon of gasoline, they are selling that gallon of gasoline across the United States at an average price of $3.50. So that's a dollar profit per gallon of gasoline. Profit, pure profit. Okay? They sell millions of gallons of gasoline across the United States every single day. They are making millions of dollars. And a lot of that annoys me because a lot of the oil, 25% apparently, of all oil and gas that is being pumped in the United States is on federal lands. Now, my personal thought of that, on that, is that oil and gas that exists on federal lands, that is public land, that means that the oil and gas underneath should belong to the people, not necessarily to any one company that can purchase the lease. However, that is the way the system works. And that is going to be useful to us because we're going to use that to our advantage. If it were me, I would run it much more communist, much more socialist. I would say that the oil and gas should be pumped directly by the government. The government would create the corporation. The government would run the wells. The government would run the refineries. The government would sell the gas. And oil and gas that comes from the United States, federal land, would be sold to the people of the United States at a very, very low price. That's not going to happen. We know that. America is a capitalist society. It's not going to do that. So we are going to interject ourselves as a corporation to provide something akin to that socialist way of doing things. We are going to purchase the plots. We are going to run the oil wells. We are going to pump out the oil, natural gas, whatever, transport that. In the case of natural gas, obviously we don't have to do any refining. Great, we can sell it. In the case of crude oil, it has to be refined. Initially, we will sell it on the open market. As I understand it, from all the research I've done, the cost is usually about $30 per barrel as far as how much it costs to get a barrel of oil out of the ground. But you can sell it around $73 a barrel, as high as 85 the other, a few weeks ago. And what that will do is that'll give us money. So we will be making a good profit. With any luck, for every dollar we're spending, we're making $2 back. Is that going to happen? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I hope so. I think it'd be great. If we did that and we ran it for a year, we would hopefully have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars in the bank. And that's after, we would still keep the rules with regards to 10% of all profits goes to, how do I say this? 10% goes to bonuses, 10% goes to, I can't do the math, buying people's petrol token, 10% goes to charities, 70% goes into the bank. We'll follow that rule. We'll follow that rule when our profits are insane, when our profits are 2 to 1. Because at this point, we're not dealing with the public. We're not selling gasoline to the public. We're basically, for the first year or two, we're running ourselves like a normal, what do you call it, small oil company. And all we're doing is just like all the other small oil companies, this entire list of small oil companies I see, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 or 12 different companies on that list. And these are small oil companies. I don't recognize any big names like Shell or anything like that. I don't see them on there. These are all small individual companies. And those, so we're going to be their competitor, but we're going to do it nicely. We're probably maybe use some of them, ask for help from them. And what is going to happen is we are going to make a significant profit at the beginning, right? 70% of all our profits go into the bank, 30% goes to buying people's petrol token, et cetera, right? So, when we're finished with that, when we've done that and we've built up enough of a war chest, if that's the right word, then we will take that money and then we'll put it into the next phase, which is doing something crazy like buying or building our own refinery. Now, don't even ask me how much that's going to cost. It's going to cost millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a crazy idea to literally get into the business of refining, especially in the United States, because as I mentioned before, it's much cheaper to send the crude oil overseas, get it refined in a country that has the technological know-how but pays its workers ridiculously low wages, and then receive the refined gasoline back, and I don't want to say import it. You're not necessarily importing it back to the United States, but return it to the United States and then sell it here. Instead, we're going to keep everything in-house and everything American. Okay? I live in Australia. I'm not some crazy, I love America sort of person. I do love America, and I do want our company to be American. Um, I do want all our employees to be local American people. They don't have to be American citizens, but they have to have legal right to work in the United States. So I don't care what country you originally came from, as long as you can do the job and you're a good person and you're willing to work um, collegiately with your fellow workers. Cool, no problem. Don't care what country you originally came from. Welcome to America. That's the idea. It's America. So that's what I'm talking about. Um, and so we will have our own refinery, and we will take our oil from our wells being transported on our tankers, and we will, I mean, semi-tankers, not tanker ships. Could be. Oh my God. I can't even imagine being so big that we would actually own an oil tanker. Could be. You never know. Wow, this is a scary thought. But okay, that's 10 years down the road. That's not a tomorrow thing. So just semi trucks that are oil tankers that transport the crude oil to the refinery. The refinery converts it to kerosene, gasoline, diesel, etc. A few other little extra things that come out. And then um, we don't sell that off. We then transport that in a different uh, semi-tanker to our gas stations, and we have that gas station selling our gasoline, petrol, at a very, very ridiculously inexpensive price. Now, do I think that the big oil companies are going to be upset about this? Yes, I do. Do I expect that something bad possibly might happen to me? I might do a Russian oil oligarch thing and fall out of a window? Could happen. Do I think that's going to happen in the United States? Probably not. Do I think it's going to happen if I'm still living down here in Australia? Probably not. Um, money and power tend to try to come together. So a lot of money exists in the oil and gas industry in the United States, and they will try and potentially use that power to stop us because we will embarrass them greatly by selling gasoline at 50%, 60%, 70% of what the big companies are selling gasoline at. If they're selling it for $3.50 and 50 cents and we're selling it for $2.50, yeah, we're not going to be very popular. I'm not going to be very popular. Um, I'm going to try and fight that by being well known. Being well known will provide us with a certain amount of armor with any luck. If the people know that we're on their side, if the people know that we're doing this for them, because we're trying to make people's lives a little bit easier, and at the same time make a decent profit. That's no lie. We're still trying to make a little bit of money. We're not trying to make money hands over fists. We're not trying to gouge the American people. We're trying to make some money. Okay? So, having said that, that's what we're trying to do. We want to own everything from oil well to gas station. And yes, I fully admit that this is a 50-year company. And at the end of those 50 years, it's probably going to wind down and we will be making only, well, see, that's the funny thing. The world is filled with nations that aren't going to be switching to electric vehicles. The America is a progressive leader, and the electric vehicle market in the United States is still very small. Something like 10% of all cars in the United States are electric vehicles. That means 90% of all the cars in the United States are gasoline powered, diesel powered. And there are always going to be trucks and trains and other types of transport that require gasoline and diesel. So yes, we are, it is a 50-year company. And say, so where were we? 2023, 2073? We'll probably go out of business. We'll probably go out of business. We'll sell the business to someone. We'll make our profits over the next 50 years. And then as the electric vehicles really take over worldwide, okay, the need for hydrocarbon fuels, oil, gas, etc., will be less and less and less and less. It's not a bad thing. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Maybe my kids or grandkids will be the ones running the company, and they might be thinking about, or with any brains, they will have already invested in those future energy uh, 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 future energy products, future energy research, so that they will still be doing okay. Maybe the PPT might still be around. I don't think PPT is still going to be around. Oh, I'll tell you something funny. Okay, remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so let me be honest here. Many years ago, I gotta admit, I bought SafeMoon, right? Because I got into the crypto world and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And I bought some SafeMoon. And I mean, I bought a lot, like, I don't know, $300 or something of SafeMoon, which was, back then, SafeMoon was so cheap. I bought a lot, right? It was, I think, 10 billion coins or something. I was like, this is so cool. I own 10 billion of something. It wasn't worth anything, but 10 billion of something felt good, right? So, and I actually sat there and I went to my Windows calendar or my Outlook calendar and I sat there and went 5 years into the future and I put a little note to myself, check your SafeMoon balance and see how much it's worth. Because I thought SafeMoon was a long-term investment. It obviously wasn't. It turned out to be a massive scam, but these things happen. Um, this is a long-term investment. So if you're watching all these videos and everything, and you're like, okay, People's Petrol token, blah, 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 do your research. All right. I keep giving you stuff like websites to go look at, etc., because I'm not conning you. I'm being straight with you. This is a real industry. It exists. It's a huge industry. Even for the small guys, one of them made billions or something last year. One of the small oil companies made up over a billion and a half or something. That's insane. And I don't mean not a profit, that's their annual income. And sure, they probably had an outlay of 500 million, but they made 1.5 billion, which means they probably made like $1 billion. That's crazy. Nonetheless, we're not gonna reach that point for at least 5 years, maybe 10. But my understanding of the People's Petrol token is that it is the same thing as if you guys bought stock in the company. Okay? The People's Petrol token will always be supported by this company, which is a real brick and mortar company that is selling oil and gasoline in the United States. Maybe worldwide someday, I don't know. But the point is that we will always support PPT. We will always, always, always go back and remember who initially gave us the money to start the company. It was the people like you who bought PPT. Thank you very much. So please, it's all a pitch. It all comes back to the PPT thing. Please go buy PPT. So seriously, go buy some PPT. Not a lot, 50 bucks, 100 bucks. And leave it alone. Just put it away somewhere. Put it in one of your crypto wallets somewhere, hopefully a cold wallet, and leave it alone. Come back. Put your Outlook thing in. Look at this 2 years from now. Look at this 5 years from now. Keep watching these videos. All right? Because I'm going to be doing this for years. Oh my God, can you imagine? One of my favorite videos, they do a show like once a week, and they are literally on to like episode 160. I'm only on episode 12, and I'm thinking, oh, this might be episode 13, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I gotta go because my alarm's about to go off. It's just, oh, am I good or am I good? Um, so yeah. So here is the deal, and this is the person who lied to me. Again, I'll tell you the story next time about somebody who just lied to me online and tried to get money out of me. It's very annoying. I don't like that. I try to be honest. Okay, as you know, I rebuild computers like this guy over here. And you will get scammed by people online when you're dealing online sales. Oh, the thing you sent me didn't work. Yeah, it did. I tested it before I sent it to you. You're lying. Nevertheless, I'm honest. I'm not going to BS you. Um, you guys have the ability to contact me, enquiries at peoplespetroltoken.com, or info at peoplespetroltoken.com. I'm pretty sure both of those work. Send me something. If you're ever in the Sydney area and you want to meet up, cool, let's do it. Right? Right now, I'm going to meet one guy, right? I'm going to meet one person who's visiting from the US or something who's crazy enough to have a belief in this project. But maybe a year from now, I'll be hosting 300, 500 people who are all PPT investors. Maybe when I'm visiting the United States a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to be having a whole bunch of people who are sitting here and I'm like, hey, come on, guys, let's all have dinner together. That's going to cost money. Ooh, I'm cheap. McDonald's. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't believe I said that. I apologize. Okay, so look, yes, please go look up PPT. Okay, go to the website, peoplespetroltoken.com, copy the address, right? The thing that starts with 0x or x0 and ends in like 25. You need to grab that, paste it into your whatever, um, where however you want to buy it. You can buy it on MetaMask. I've found this out. You can buy it on, but you have to paste it in, and you have or go to PancakeSwap. It's easiest. On PancakeSwap, paste it in. PancakeSwap says this was entered by a private individual. Do you trust it? Yes, and you say yes, and you just buy $50 or $100 and leave it alone, and then import it and have those transferred to your wallet and leave it alone. 5, 10 years from now, you will be very, very, very glad you did. This is a baby investment right now, but you understand, I promise that we will constantly be putting money from the real world corporation back into the People's Petrol token to help raise the price of the People's Petrol token. So at some point you can sit there and say, "Cool, I made my $10,000. I'm out." That's fine. It's up to you. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because I'm fully committed to this and I expect to spend at least the next 10 years doing this. Okay, I have this image in my head of me driving around in a 4x4 or something, going to oil well, meeting with people, talking to people, seeing how it's going, dealing with the corporation, dealing with all the money, dealing with all the human resources, dealing with all the headaches, because that's what it is to run a company. I have this image in my head. That is what is going to end up happening. Sorry, I just realized I still have one more alarm I have to kill. Uh, there we go. Okay, we're good. Um, and I just want to do the right thing. Okay, we're the good guys. We're the ones who are sitting here saying it is possible to sell gasoline to members of the public at a low price perfectly reasonably. It is possible to do so, and that is what I intend to do. Okay, that's what this is all about, and still make a profit. Profit for the company, a profit for the PPT investors, a profit that includes bonuses for the employees, and charity work on top of that. That's all possible. At least I think it is, and I'm going to make a good faith effort to make that happen. Okay? So, enough. I gotta go. I gotta go and do the work thing. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Happy Queen's birthday, and yes, I did serve under Her Majesty. Um, when I was in the Royal Australian Air Force Reserve, my oath of allegiance was, don't quote me on this. I swear to obey and support Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Australia. Literally, that's the quote because she was the Queen of Australia as well as Great Britain. Her heirs and successors. So, Bunny King Charlie. I know you don't get that joke. It's fine. All right, guys. Love you. Take care, and I will talk to you guys in a couple days. All right. Bye bye.